Good evening again. We want to welcome everyone to another edition of My Lutheran Connection. We have with us today our bishop, the Lord Bishop Reverend Dr. G. Victor Patmore of the Lutheran Church in Liberia. He will be providing us update on the state of affairs of the Lutheran Church in Liberia. And today in studios, we have our sister, the lone lady on our team, Sis Sile, there in our studios, Monrovia, and our ambassador there in Monrovia, Freetown, Sierra Leone. But Josiah Jokai is there in Densbury, Connecticut. We hope to have our only Reverend on the team, the Reverend Zesta Lila Yapazuru, to join us later. Unfortunately, we will not be having our brother Abel Lewilly today, but we are going to have a wonderful show as always. And Bishop, it's been a long time. We want to say welcome to your show. And team, how is everyone doing today? Today is Sunday.
Thank you, Willie. Today is Sunday. Today, from my end, it was sunny, good weather. We praise God for life. Yeah. Couple wanted to say something.
Yeah, she can go ahead.
No, you are asking. I don't know. I'm good for my end. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah. God, thank you for the day.
All right. I mean, time if I spent, we're going to go straight to our bishop. Bishop is just going to give us, some, going to put all into one. And from there, we're going to start the conversation. Bishop, again, we want to say welcome.
Thank you all. Thank you for this privilege to always appear and maybe give some pieces of information concerning the work and life of our church. Many persons don't see this as a positive thing, but I think it is. As long as we can embrace people in other part of the world and even around us about what is happening. There are people right in Liberia don't even know some of the things we are doing, so it's not a bad thing. But again, I'm happy to be here this evening. I want to say welcome to all of you people today. And I met some of you all today. I met a couple today. The program, I said Matthew, but it's good. Just before I go, let me say to you people, thank you for the fundraising program. It's something that we still look, the amount that couple got, we receive it, and we began working with it already. I wish I would inform you as I go along today. But we still look forward to receiving the balance because we are hanging. Anyway, it's been quite a little while now since we have not come, so let me just start from there. You talk about LTI. LTI is still high. So what we are doing right now, like I said to you, we still have school going on, classes going on there, by some volunteers, which we need to find something to compensate them, just to tell them thank you. But on the other hand, what we've done is that we made a small project for LTI as a special concern so that we can always be there. We call that the Bishop Special Project. And that is to bring back to life few of our fish ponds and few of our swamp rest projects. So I have a small committee of people there along with the teachers there, and they've begun cleaning up a few of our fish ponds. We bought some tools and other things that we can use to begin to work with few men. And so we do maybe 2 of the fish pond and 2 of the rest plot as a way of starting just to keep our presence there and know that we're going to move forward. So that is already ongoing, and as soon as we get more money, we do bigger things. But we want to make sure that place remains lively and active until the coming of the International Lutheran Conference. So we are still in LTI. We are still working and we're making efforts. We have written several persons to help us with that project. Even we have met with the some government officials like senators and lawmakers from that part of the country and even outside that part of the country. With some commitment, I hope they can help me. And the way they said it, if it happens, to have a little inclusion in the government budget as a subsidy for the school system, but specifically for the upliftment of LTI through a vocational technical training program. they are working on that, and I hope it will happen. We look forward to seeing that. During the period under review, we have several interactions. Even managed to have met with the Minister of Health to see how we can restore this broken relationship between the government, the Lutheran Church, and Phoebe Hospital. Luckily for me, she was willing to meet with me, and we sat down and talked. And maybe officially by the earlier part of February, we have planned to sit all of our stakeholders and see what went wrong, how can it be corrected, because like she and myself affirming our words, we need each other, and we need to live in that partnership. But whatever be it, we may do that early February. We need to meet and discuss how the government continue the role they played in the past, and we continue our role we play. Whatever modification can be made, we can make it a move on. You may have been aware, I'm sure previously I may have said to you that the technical committee on the Lutheran University was revised, was restructured, that's the right word, when Reverend King, who was then the chairman, decided that he could no longer, because of some steady engagement and workload, we thanked him and appointed a new committee, not basically totally new. We still left some of the people on the bus on the pole who were inactive and were busy, or whatever it is. We tried to reduce the number, adding few new persons to few of the old persons to make sure things can be much more fluid and functional. So we appointed Willie May, Ginia, Wito Ginia, who is the nursing director for Esther Baker. She accepted the tax along with a few other persons, and they began working. Through that, since that time, within a period of a month now, they have had meetings. Along with them, we have had a meeting with the High Commission. We met with the High Commission on Education in Liberia, and then we scheduled a retreat. And honestly, things are fluid, but it costs responsibility, and I was going to share responsibility with you people soon. We met this gone weekend in Trinidad from Wednesday to Thursday. Practically, the committee did very well. They have almost compiled all the documents that the High Commission need for accreditation. And I want to say thank you to them. Very thank you. Maybe by the end of this week we're in, I may have all the documents. The only thing that is left behind, because I had some few persons there who could advise me from what the High Commission would need. We have few buildings that would need to renovate. If we had those buildings renovated now, I can tell you by February 15th, we'll get accreditation. We need to renovate the building for offices and classrooms. That would be our only hold on now to delay the High Commission giving us clearance to operate a full-fledged university, Lutheran University. But the committee is doing very well, and there are some people who really volunteered to help us. They were there. I was with them from Thursday to Saturday. And I can tell you, as soon as we get a little more, they're making some assessment on the building now and see how much it will cost us to renovate them. Once we had it renovated, rest assured, if it happened before February ending, we will get a clearance from the government for that long outstanding university, which will happen. So they are working very hard, and we are moving hard. So it's just not a flow show; it's a reality right now. We're moving. You also talk about the international conference. Yeah, we've had some meetings with Mrs. Marie Johnson. I don't know what the last name is. Freeman, right?
Marie Capet.
Marie
Capet.
Marie Capet. And we have been doing some underground. In fact, just sometime last week, I was in Bangor trying to finalize the arrangement at Passion, the food and the lodging, all the way to Zoso. So we are on course. We are moving very far, except that I will see to it that this week, the office center, the finance office open an account, as was said, so that we can get some funding to begin actual work on ground. That's all that holding on right now on the ground for some of the things we need to do. But we didn't know, as well as I know, there have been a lot of progress. We did a meeting with them, along with them, and things are on course. We hope between now and the end of February, we have made sure that everything that needs to be in place here in terms of speaker and everything will be finalized, but the conference is on course. You asked about the problem here now, like I said just today, I was asking Matthew, and I told the young people who are yearning for university, as soon as I get the estimate for the project, I'm sure I will need something like 400 to 500 2x2, and maybe some 35 bonus or thing. I told every young person in this church we had to produce 1 2x2. I'm not going to be showing my hand to outside to do some of this thing that we can do. The thing we can do with money in this country, we can spend more than 500. 1 2x2 is just $300 Liberian dollars. And I'm sure if the youth are very serious about this university, like all of us are, we can provide 2x2. Instead of, we can ask our partners to give us money to do something bigger than to buy 2x2. But anyway, we're going to study every way we can. But it's an open contribution. Anybody who is able to give us a bonus or thing, or maybe a few pieces of seed time, we'll take it and we'll be appreciated for those things. But we ourselves, Willie and Tableau and all of you people, we have to do some of these things and ask our partner for bigger things that we're not able to do. I can't continue asking for the petty thing. And if it is our interest, our feeling that we should have a university, this year should not pass us, we should all contribute in our meaningful way. That would be my request to everybody who will hear me, and everybody who I will talk to, and everybody who is yearning for this university. We are almost there. The High Commission, in fact, believe that we are delaying ourselves. So if we can do those things, we're sure we can be there. The next thing you asked for has to do with the verification committee. Honestly, we halted a little bit the function of the verification committee, and for some reason, which I will not discuss right here, but there was some stick-up issue. Either some people don't want to cooperate, but when we discovered the issue and then we talked to call it executive council meeting in that discussion, what we felt was that we should get to know, we should ask our finance, the board of finance, to work along with the treasurer and see whether they can find any information that we could give to the executive council for their discussion. The board of finance did that, and so we have been waiting for the report. Got a report for us. We shared with the treasurer gave her input, and we finally had an executive council meeting this going Wednesday. At that meeting, few decisions were reached. One, that the case be pursued by legal means, take the case to court. Secondly, that the church should employ a credible auditing firm to credit not just the two accounts, but to audit the whole LCL financial account. We got our instruction 2-3 days ago, and we hope to see how we start that beginning this week. So far, the issue of the TEP is not thrown away. We have been waiting for executive council mandate, but we will not do anything until we have news to report to the executive council, which we did this Wednesday, and that was how far we landed. So from now on, as of Monday, we begin. That means we have to tell the police to send the case to court and let the legal system take its lead. You talk about the pastor's training. As part of our plan, and like I said, and I always say that we are all a pastor, my hope would be that all of us will contribute towards the renovation work I'm talking about. Because we are hoping that our next set of pastors that we're going to be sending to seminary, we're not going to send it to GST. We have qualified men. When we open our own seminary, and the seminary will, this is how the university will go for the beginning. We have the College of Theology and Education at Totota. The nursing program will be at Esther Baker and Phoebe. The agriculture and other technical skills will be done at LTI, where we have forest and farm. Those 3 sites have been selected for the operation of the university until we take a real shape and have a real ground. So we are stretching to that because it's closer. It has some building already that can be used, except that it needs some renovation. So the High Commission is willing that we appeal to them that want to use Florida as our site for now with the extension, and they have agreed. But we need to do the renovation for them to give us some clearance or agreement that we can run and use that place right now as our center. A lot of things that happen, maybe when you ask questions, we'll say some. But basically, these are some of the things we've done over the period of time. We have already been working hard to get this committee report, which has been like everybody thought that nothing will happen. That's not true. The law will take its course. And so I will hang there. Maybe you can ask some questions that you think we want, and we can get there.
Thank you so much, Bishop, for the updates. And we say, hats off to you and the entire team. But at this time, we're going to go straight up to Connecticut, our studio there, where Brother Josiah Jokai will be leading the team for today, as usual. And we all going to go through the time of questioning. And we will also be taking some questions from the queue. So again, Bishop, we say thank you very, very, very much. Brother Jokai.
Well, Willie, you started off very good. I thought you were just going to lead the discussions today, and we will come in with our questions. But howbeit, we'll continue with the flow. Bishop, want to say thank you very much for the update. I thought that was very comprehensive. And I just want to say to our viewers, Bishop has just demonstrated the purpose of the My Lutheran Connections TV. We are here. This is strange, but quite important, having the leadership in the glare of the public for the first time in the history of the church. Everybody across the world knows exactly what Bishop Patmo is doing, and the entire leadership is doing. I think this is quite significant. And that's why some of us are very proud to be associated with this network. Bishop, you struck an important point, and this is where I want to hit for now. It's a great progress, but the Lutheran Church in Liberia, that there are conditions for us to get our accreditation for the start of the Lutheran University. This should concern all of us. And the first thing I want to say to you is that whichever way, again, our network can help, if you have to come back here for us to sit and raise funds because this is an emergency, we have to do it. If Bishop, you have to come and sit with us on this network, maybe a Sunday or two from now, purposely, exclusively for raising some money to contribute to the renovation of the buildings, identify the buildings in question, we have to do that. And I know that Lutherans are now mustering the courage and to support the works of the leadership, because you have proven a great deal of accountability measures. For now, our network is ready to do that. You just come up with a strategy, let us know, and we will support the initiative. So it's
let me say something quickly before you go.
Right.
The time you showed me said it's too long. If I have somewhere I could borrow this money, I will do it this week.
Next Sunday, Bishop.
Then I come to you.
Agree. My colleagues will agree. Next Sunday, Jerry, Willie. Sorry,
I'm telling you, I'm on the ground with people. I don't want to say this, but with people from the High Commission.
Yeah,
that was a deploy for them to come with me and to see where I'm talking about and tell me you can do it. You do it. I think we need to put efforts to that. And like I said to you today, if by the end of this week I had that place renovated, next week they will accredit that university. So the team has worked so hard and put almost all of the documents. They just compiled it now. All the work that was done needed to be done. Documentarily, I've done it. Just need to put it together. And the last thing we have is those places of renovation. But anyway, like you said, God has His time, but we're not going to hesitate because God's time is the best, and waste the time. We all have to start doing something right now. And like I said to you, Josiah, if I knew somebody who even gave me 4,000 United, I would tell you by the end of this week, I will have done substantial work on that place.
Bishop, I don't want to lie to you. This network can support the efforts And by Thursday, let me say Thursday, Sunday, I'm sure my colleagues here will agree. I'm raising this issue, colleagues, because it's crucial, just as Bishop is emphasizing it. By next Sunday, we can postpone the program we are supposed to have in the interest of raising money for the LCL. Next Sunday, we want to have you back, Bishop, with whoever you think you can come back to sit on the show with. We will do the publicity during the course of this week.
Maybe I'll try to get the chairman for the committee, William Ginny.
Very good. We will do the publicity this week during the course of the week, and Sunday we all can gather here, and Lutherans across the world, I'm sure there will be forthcoming $4,000. We should be able to raise $4,000 on this show on Sunday next week before the show ends. I'm very optimistic about that. If my colleagues want to chime in on that, Reverend will say welcome. I'm glad that Bishop is here and you are here. I would like for Bishop to come every day so Reverend Yakwazo can be on every day too, with us, because he comes
because he know he and he's in his clerical as well.
Reverend comes on and he gets in his full regalia, his full clerical. He comes in.
His boss is coming, so he can stay.
Yeah. So Bishop, thank you for coming. And next Sunday, Bishop will be here again. So I'm very sure Reverend Yakwazo will be here next Sunday too. Reverend Sario, for putting you on the spot. Jerry, Ambassador, Kopo and Willie, I think you guys need to chime in on this for next Sunday. We got a strategy. We can do the publicity from now to next Sunday, and we can have Bishop back with Sis Willie May, and we can raise our $4,000 on this show next Sunday. I'm very optimistic. Jerry.
Thank you, Joe. And I think I concur with you. Abel said that he's trying to get on, but his connection, is difficult. So we praise God that Bishop was able to make it. I see from our brother Dr. George Toto, who said Bishop is on fire, and I want to take it from that end. Bishop, we are very happy that you are passionate about education, and you want to ensure that you leave a legacy. And I think, like Josiah said, that we are going to join you in this process because we know that it's going to help our generation unborn. For example, the church I attend here, unfortunately, the Lutheran church here is so far from me, so I affiliate with the Methodist church. But they got this basket that they put in every church, and then they say university fund, and so. Every time, everybody will go and put something in that basket, the envelope and this thing. So it's just there. So every parish in the circuit will have that fund, and then it goes towards the university at the end of the month. And so this is something that I'm trying to elevate. And maybe there's one strategy also we could be thinking on, that we could encourage our parishes. Yeah. Yes. So while we are talking about raising the fund, we can also encourage our parishes to have it there, because it's for our kids. Even if we don't attend, but our children going to attend, or our children going to attend that university one day. So and we could do it to Bishop, to have every parish just put a basket there every Sunday and just say university fund and this thing. And then if they got $2, $3, and we need to encourage our kids to give, and then they can put it inside. That will also help to cushion some of the gaps that you will have. But Joe, I want to say that I don't have much to say on this, but I welcome the idea, and I'm looking forward to the process on Sunday.
Oh, wonderful. Reverend, welcome. Reverend Yakwazo, welcome. Can you chime on this briefly before we start to hit Bishop with the questions? Reverend, you're muted. Good.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. And thanks to the team for keeping everything going, man. I miss being here sometime. It's just that, Willie adjusted the time unknown to me. So it's taking some time for me to get adjusted as well to the 3 o'clock, because I'm so used to the 4 o'clock, and then the 3 o'clock has taken me out of balance. So I'm still struggling to get adjusted to the 3 o'clock. So the timing is one of the serious issues, but I'm always glad to be here, and I'm glad that my Lord Bishop is here today, and I can be able to see him. But don't mind that we chat behind the scenes sometime as well. And I must say thank you for the great work done, especially. And I like to begin by one of the bishop closing statement. He said, "We have the manpower," and I don't know, where he spoke that from, but it resonated within me because that's something over the years I've always said, that I believe that we Lutherans have the manpower to run that university. And I guess in the mind of the bishop, the manpower is, even when it comes to the teaching staff, we have a lot of people in there, even if we were calling them to do a voluntary work from the beginning, that are able to put chalks on the board and provide quality education for our people. And I'm glad that we can be going in this direction. Another thing that sparked up to my mind when the bishop was speaking was the issue about the building that he talked about. I think Dr. Toto also raised similar thing like that. Specifically, where are those buildings? Are they in Toronto, or they in LTR, or they are in Zozo? You know, specifically, or all of those locations. You know.
Well, to answer you to that, like I said, we have decided that Toronto was going to be the place for assessment for the High Commission. So the building we were talking about, they are in Toronto. We walk around, and with the help of those who left the High Commission just to see what would, I invited them, and they realized that yes, we have these buildings that can be used for the purpose of the university. It's just that they have some technical, you got to have this, you got to have that, and it is from that background that we're talking about renovation of this building. We have the building right into the top, and I showed to them our idea, and they said these are good, but they need this renovation, and that's what it is for classroom and office.
Thank you, Bishop. Joe, before I close,
really?
and sorry guys, before I close, I don't want to lose my thought on this.
Go on.
Don't see me like the old troublemaker, please. But I want the bishop to please think about this and put this on his docket as he still on the years, of running this church. The fact that we are now thinking on taking a very great investment to Toronto. Can you, Bishop, please also take into consideration that the kilometers of land space we have at Toronto need to be reserved? We need to, in the future, this may not be a part of what you came to talk about, I just want to throw it out. We need to, in the future, do a survey of that land we have at Toronto and know exactly the land space we have there, so that we don't, because when we start running a very serious university there, we don't want people encroaching, because every piece of space will be important for us. Every piece of space will be important for us, and we don't want to lose it. So we need to know exactly, as time goes by, what we have there, and we need to keep hold of that. I just wanted to throw that out to you.
Yeah, but let me just give you a little information on that. Right now, I mean, there have been some encroaching, but we took up the case with the land commission, and I've been through that twice now for the discussion on that. The land commission that shows me that right after February 11 Armed Forces Day celebration, he's going to launch, or right, all of us who have land conflict there, to do a resurvey, so that whoever owns land there will bring their documents, compare with what the Lutheran Church has, and then we move on to a settlement of it. So that's on my plate. All right.
Thank you.
Even with the Zoso land,
yeah,
I'm also inside with the Zoso people. I met with some senior elders of Zoso, the quarter, I call it Ziliman quarter, what kind of quarter that is, that have the Lutheran Church land. I get land to the Lutheran Church. We are meeting on the 3rd of March to sit down, the elders and the church, the hospital, and so on, the school, to see how we can resolve. And I want to say to you, frankly, I can't continue the fight that going on in the Lutheran Church among members who are all members and fighting over there. If there will be some reason of give and take, we have to do something to resolve this issue. We have to do it. But I'll be sitting with them on the 3rd of March to see how we can resolve this whole issue about talking about land. And people believe that, well, the legal means is one of them, but I think we also need to talk, to dialogue, because these people who we are in the conflict with are also members of this church, and their relatives and family give us those lands. And even though we may not have developed all, but we can sit down and talk the best way forward. Them fighting lawsuit right now that could split us and cause a whole lot of conflict. I'm not prepared for that. So I'm looking at that. We're working on that. So the land issue is very important. We'll look at it.
Thank you, Bishop. Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop. Sis Couple, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. You getting me?
Yes.
Yeah, Bishop, thank you so much for this update. Like Brother Joka said, it is good that we have you. And someone said the bishop is on fire. Indeed, the bishop is on fire. So I want to say thank you for this talking point. Today we met as in Matthew, and you raised the issue of this Lutheran University when it has to do with the renovation.
Mhm.
And you encourage the young people, you gave them a tax. You said each of them should pay like $400 for a 2x2 or 2x4.
2x2.
How does 2x2 or a
Right.
2x2? And those little things, we cannot ask partners for it. 2x2 is very little for you to go. Like you said, we need bigger thing. If we ask it, it should be something bigger than 2x2. So we can challenge ourselves. Yes, we can challenge ourselves. If a person will bring 2x2, I think we don't need anybody to come in to help us, especially when it comes to the renovation. So I just want to say thank you. And I have a question. It has to do with the collection of this 2x2. How are we going to do it? Are we only challenging the young people to do it, or we are going to spread it to the various parishes? Like for what Brother Joe said that where he worshiping, they got a basket there just for this, right? So I think we can come up with that initiative if we would just send the communication to the various parishes and say on this time, or when we bring you in this Sunday, we make the awareness and say on this time we are going to launch this program. They call it the 2x2 project for not LTI, but for the Lutheran University at Totota. And we see how best and challenge ourselves and see if we cannot raise that. So I just want to from your end, how the message is really going to our parishes. How are you
Okay.
sending a message when it relates to this Lutheran University at Totota?
Tomorrow I will formulate a committee that will be responsible for that. Even though I gave because I was there and I didn't want somebody to say we don't know what to do. I just told them anything, I give them my number. But tomorrow I'm going to constitute a committee responsible for that. If possible, in fact, since you in Moravia, I will put you on that committee.
No problem.
That's
No
that's
problem,
the
Bishop.
bishop. That's the bishop right there.
writing what I call a circular letter for all of the parishes. I will complete that circular letter with that information into it. At the same time, I'm going to call all of the pastors who I can reach with phone and tell them that they, beginning next Sunday, they need to initiate this project in their parish.
Bishop, sorry, I have to interrupt a little bit, Bishop. Bishop, I don't want us to confuse the emergency funds. As far as I know, we need the emergency funds raised.
No, we do. Not for now.
Only on Sunday. The emergency fund is only on Sunday. So if you are doing a circular tomorrow, Bishop, I will want you to restrict the emergency fund raising to Sunday. All parishes and preaching points in the nation should raise that money on Sunday, which will be consistent with what we will be doing on my Lutheran Connections. If we raise that money on Sunday, at least our target is 4,000 for the entire church to raise, including what we are doing on the show here. In the country, the church won't let us down. We will raise that money on Sunday. Then after Sunday, you can do a formal communication that every other Sunday, they can now have a basket for the Lutheran University, like my colleague Jerry suggested. That would be a good thing going forward. But for the emergency fund, they need to
be done. There will still be work to be done.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Okay, I agree with you.
Willie, can you chime in here just on the renovation? We can close and move now on a different topic.
I mean, we that is a brilliant idea, and the rest of you have already said the same thing. So I concur, and this is something we've done in the past. We always work along with our church and every member in our church, and from our management in, we will be having an emergency meeting right after this show,
Right.
so as to strategize and how we can engage our Sunday fundraiser. So yeah.
Yeah, we know we had something special lined up. I think it was
Yeah,
for
we
the
had something special, yeah, but
yes, but this is paramount. This
yeah,
is
no, sure,
paramount.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll take this one. We'll take this one this coming Sunday. And Bishop, talking about raising funds, we just want to let you know officially. I know you talk about it in your update. We were able to remit the first amount collected for the LTR support, and we received the receipts. We got the receipts officially from the LCL in that regards. We are also following up on those who made pledges to do collections. And as we speak, couple made us to understand that we have about $200 that we've collected, but we want to get something, something
Substantially
substantial before we can remit, the second portion to the LCL. Okay, here are the receipts. I think two of them. Willie, thank you very much for displaying the receipts. We got them. We have to do this for our viewers. This is part of our whole accountability commitment. That's what the bishop has charged us to. That's what his leadership has charged us to. That's what we as members of the LCL are holding the church to, accountability and transparency. And so we just wanted to highlight that, Bishop, that we are with the leadership in terms of supporting all of the efforts that you have lined up. So the other thing you did, Bishop, was to update us on the theft case. So it's going to court. That is clear. I'm not sure my colleagues got questions about that. That's what everybody looking forward to. The audit process is going out to a full-blown audit that's going to be conducted church-wide. Audit that's going to be conducted. Our understanding is the Executive Council has endorsed that, right? Has approved that, correct?
In fact, that's the mandate they give us when this going Wednesday.
Okay, so now the issue, we don't have any verification that will go on. It's going to be a full-blown audit that's going to go on all the accounts of the LCL.
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah,
yes, couple.
Yeah, Brother Choka, just on that audit issue, I just want to ask Bishop something. He said the Executive Council mandated him, that they should hire an auditing firm, right? So the council take into consideration the issue of cost, the money. Where are we getting it from now? And we are complaining we don't have money. So who is going to underwrite the cost, the issue of the auditing firm?
Well, the first thing we
so
wanted
was that
to do,
taken into consideration?
the first thing we wanted to get is that to get the instruction from the Executive Council, the mandate to do an audit. What we're going to start doing right now, as of tomorrow, is find an auditing firm, see how much they will charge us. Then we can take the second step, which you're asking. We don't know how much it's going to cost us right now. The senior Executive Council that we went to and say, do an audit, we're going to find a firm, independent firm. Then we're gonna see what it will cost us, and then we will go back to the Executive Council and say this is what it costs us. But the biggest and the most important thing is that we reach a decision to do this audit and to pursue the case from a more legal perspective, and then just sitting down in the corner as church members and I wouldn't have accepted that. So that's not how we are. So we'll get back to you to inform you and inform the church what the next step are going to be. But I can assure you, we will pursue what the Executive Council have mandated us to do.
Bishop, quickly before my colleagues come in, can I just ask you another question on that?
Go ahead.
Are you taking into consideration the financial obligations as well if you pursue such case, especially like going to the courts? Are you taking into consideration the financial responsibility as well that will be attached to it?
I know that.
Okay.
I know that.
Okay, wonderful. So Bishop,
but you see what happened is that if you follow the legal process and the audit to its letter, you even want to realize that even the bank should be accountable for some of what happened. You cannot pay a payroll 4 times a day for one institute. But anyway, let's get there. Let's use the process.
Reverend Yakwaso, don't make Bishop to start going into his
No,
account.
sorry, I'm talking about button behind the scene.
Bishop is saying how many accounts you have. Bishop, do you have 33 or 53 accounts?
Excuse me. We got a little more than 25.
25, more than 25 accounts.
Let's go, man. Some are dormant.
Jerry, ambassador.
The audience will tell us.
Thank you so much. I think Bishop have more like giving us a broader, roadmap, and I must admit, Bishop, that you've done a lot, given the time and given the circumstances. You've done a lot. But what are you intending to achieve as your top priority, if you would like to prioritize a priority for 2023? What can we point to say amongst the issue of the LT, the university, this? We know all of them are priorities, but can you give us what you'll be looking at if we end 2023 as your deliverable?
Well, basically, we own one, and the first one here is LTI is still at my heart. I know it's going to cost me some time, but the LUL will be the first. Want to make sure before 2023 is out, because we already have.
Folks, you are tuning into my Lutheran Connections. Please.
Candidates to be awarded BSc. What I'll call you back, please. I'm in this show with Lutheran Connection. I'll call you back. There are students who are supposed to be giving, maybe by the end of next year, should be awarded BSc for the nursing program, either under studies or laboratory or whatever else. And we don't have this university. So the university is the first thing I'm looking forward to, Brother Tablo, that we can make sure by 2023 we have a university fully accredited. Secondly, I'm sure and I'm hoping that by 2023 ending, LTI will have picked up. It may not be to its full-blown stage, but it will be to a level maybe fully in that we can now say we're operating and we have some things that we can move on.
So, Bishop, let me just say to you before you conclude, let me just say to you, we're listing them. So you will have your scorecard at the end of 2023 because we'll do our research. So that's the reason why we're asking the questions so that people clearly see the deliverables as you're defining them. So we say 1, to make sure that we have our university accredited. Number 2, LTR to be functional, even if it's not fully functional, but at least functional. So we got the 2. You are making a third point. So go ahead.
The third point would be the third one would be, and I will start working on that. It will not go maybe not too far, but the third one will have to be this issue of the Luther FM. Right now, I got a committee investigating the funding that was raised previously for Luther FM, and when those reports are brought to me, we will begin to see what can be done of it, and I think we will start the process of starting the roadmap or the beginning of how we can now continue what you guys started before with this Luther FM. I think it's very necessary. It will be a little bit slow, but we can begin that process by 2023. We may not reach this goal, but first, the problem I'm having right now, people are not satisfied because they believe they pay some money and they have not heard anything about it. I want to make sure clarities are made on those funding, whether it was used for the purpose of the church or it was used for individual purpose. We want to know that. And whatever it is, we all will need to say we have to move on. Time has changed. Leadership has changed. We can rest assured that even if something happened in the past that was not favorable, we can now rest assured that whatever we do now, we can be accountable for it to you and to the rest of the world. So If we continue building on, oh, it happened, so it didn't, and we don't think it happened, let's throw that out. Even though it happened bad the first time, but we can still move forward. And that's what I want us to do. So LUL, LTI on the road, and this Luther. I said that Sunday morning, other days, I listen to other churches' radio station playing, and I can't hear my own radio station. You don't think it sounds crazy to me? So sometimes you call up my radio.
and wait for my Lutheran connection on Sunday. So Remy,
Jerry, before your next question, Jerry, can you have Willie to put up the comment from Faith, Hope, and Love, Jerry, so you can read it for our audience? This confirms what Bishop is supposed Bishop vision about accountability. Jerry, you want to look at that comment? Yes.
Accountability has never been cheap, and it will never be cheap.
Mm-hmm.
The church must be willing and prepared to bring to closure the issue of theft in the church and necessarily focusing on the cost. If we can demonstrate that we are accountable, that will be an incentive to attract more funding.
Absolutely.
I think this comment is key. And like what Bishop said, when we reach the bridge, we'll cross it. Once we want to litigate the matter, and we know that it's justiciable, and that is it can be admissible in court, we'll find the lawyers. Maybe some of them will be pro bono, maybe some of them will call for a small fee, but whatever the case may be, we'll be able to make sure that we get this thing to court. And if some of us will have to support the legal fees, we need to do that. But the church,
absolutely,
is nothing going to sweep under the carpet to say that church and with brothers and sisters. The last time we had, the last time we had Leo Napolo on the show, and say our tendency for having, or the mentality that we always have, that this is church and we don't want our members to leave, and this is old faction. We need to take a radical step that if you do wrong, we penalize you, because Jesus Christ himself penalized people when they did wrong. And if that will cause you to leave. Other people will come. The church will continue to go on. So
Jerry,
I think it was a radical.
Jerry,
yeah, go ahead.
Jerry, I want you to also know that people are leaving because we're not doing anything about things. Mm-hmm. So it's not just because we are hard about things. People are already also discouraged when they see that things go wrong and nothing happens.
Yeah.
So do we want? In fact, greater number of people are leaving because of this than only because we put things down and put our feet down to things. So
okay, so Bishop, my last question in the first round, and it's just light questions I want to begin with before we start going to the complex ones. You talk about your priorities already, and we got that, and we're going to hold you on that for 2023, because we're now trying to decouple. You gave us a strategic plan, and now you're giving us a work plan or an annual work plan. And we're looking at the annual work plan now to see 2023, these are the deliverables, so then we can score you on that. But going forward, what do you see already since you took office as some of the challenges, that impeding, or that might impede some of your progress or your deliverables for 2023? That's my last question for the first round.
And the answer you already know. If this church was potent financially, I can tell you, even this thing we're talking about, 6 months is too much. We can achieve a lot of them. Finance is the only thing. Right now, as I sit right here, I tell you, the teachers we send to LTI to keep that place open, we are not even be able to give them anything. This month I'm sitting in, I'm still looking forward to see where I can get money to pay salary for staff. Finance is our biggest challenge. The men and women are willing to work as long as we can find, and many persons are willing to even do some sacrifice job too. But as long as we can find funding to begin some of our process, we can move on. Like we're talking about this total issue. You think we have money? I'll be sitting down talking to you right now. I will be in total working tonight. I can assure you that. But again, what I know we need to do is to build credibility. If people don't trust us, they're not going to do anything for us. So I'm fighting first to build the trust. Let people trust that we can make it and we can be accountable to them for whatever they give us. They should not be afraid. Try us and see what happens.
Try us and see what happens. The voice of the Bishop of the Lutheran Church in Liberia, Dr. G. Victor Papo, updating Lutherans in Liberia and across the world on the state of affairs of the LCL. This is my Lutheran Connections online TV. Stay tuned. We have more in store for you. Now we go to our colleague Willie sitting pretty seat in our studio in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. Willie, is it always correct when I say Atlanta?
It's the ATL.
The ATL, Atlanta. There you have
Thank you so much, Bishop. I want to pick back from Ambassador's question about the about LTI, but Bishop, you talked about LTI in the Lutheran University, and then earlier on you mentioned how the colleges are going to be, laid out. Total campus, the Phoebe, Zozo, and and the LTI campus. Yeah. So my question now is, how is the LUL going to be operating at LTI at the same time we have LTI? So it's a little confusing to me, or it's not clear. Maybe other people would like to have some clarification on that, because having a LUL, because the idea is making LTI the technical college campus, and you're talking about having the LTI and having the LUL. That's one. So once you are done with that, then I can just come with my follow-up question, please.
So, but Willie, how you speaking that you don't know LTI? Look, other schools, other universities that was started on high school campus. You know that?
Sure, yeah.
Good. Look at it. For us, we have classes, numbers of classes at LTI. So the way the school system is working it out is that we're not going to run from elementary to 12th grade on LTI. We have all of those classes, right? But we're going to be going running from 7 to 12. That's what we intend to do. It means that we have additional classes. And the planners going to plan. I'm not a planner, but I can give them the dream. We have faculty's houses at LTI. We can have a boarding school, a day school, and we can still have the university there. If all of us, the way we're working to renovate and put LTI back to place, if our structures on LTI are renovated, it can accommodate the university, the agriculture component of the university. At the same time, it can accommodate the high school.
Okay.
I was teaching at Bone Technical College when they were still in the Methodist, on the Methodist campus in Banga. Both schools are running alongside.
Okay.
We have schools, we have classes. So it's a matter of planning the technical way out. I may not have that idea, but I'm setting it down. That's how I wanted to see it. That since we'll not be running the full from elementary, from nursery to 12th grade, we are running from 7 to 12th grade. We still have classes that can incorporate the university agriculture component.
Okay. Thank you.
Willie, you will go ahead. You will go ahead. You will go ahead, Willie.
Okay.
Big Joe, I know I interrupted without telling you, but I want to answer this. I want to answer this person. Past Bishop
Jerry, I'm going to ask you to answer absolutely.
Yeah. Past Bishop talk about building university and radio station. It is an old age statement. Please talk about new development for the LCL. That's a very good point, my brother and Nixon Flomo. But past Bishop spoke about it. But did it come to fruition? That's the key question. Talking about it is one thing. Actualizing it is another thing. So this bishop has placed it as top of his priority and saying that it's going to be deliverable and he's going to actualize it. So let's wait and see if it is not actualized. And that's the reason why we brought it up. So it's good to talk about it, but then again, he's going to move into action. So Flomo, I think what we need to do, my brother, is to give him the benefit of the doubt and trust that this will happen. If this happens, it's going to be good for our church. Actually, Bishop's been talking about a past bishop, but it has not materialized. If it materializes this time, then I think it's going to be a plus.
Let me tell our brother, I'm not just picking at people who when I attempted running for bishop in this church, I had these dreams on my mind. Unfortunately, I didn't win. But not because people talk about it, it didn't happen, does not mean that we don't need it. We should throw it out. It must happen. We can build on that, those things that, and we know that it is a yearning point for many of us Lutherans here and there. So we can write that out, we do that, and we look for new things to add on. But this has never been done, like you rightly said, Jerry. Doesn't mean that because somebody spoke about it, it didn't happen. It's an old thing. It's not old because it had not been achieved.
I think Nathan, Brother Nathan, is happy that he heard from his bishop directly today, and I'm
Absolutely.
glad that Bishop spoke.
And I have to interrupt waiting for that. So waiting.
No, that's fine.
You can continue.
That's fine. That's fine. Bishop, I just want to follow. I want to follow up on this. And
Witty,
yes,
can I just cut you off a little bit?
go ahead, Reverend.
I also want to let you know that Brother Nixon, that I see over there, share the same view with me. And I think back in the days, I was one of those who told Nixon them, I can assure you, support the radio station, because even if you don't hear voices, but you will hear the radio ground. So standing there as their pastor, they believe me. I say, even if you don't hear the radio, you don't hear people talking, I can assure you that this time around, you will hear the radio grounding. And that's a program. When you hear it grounding, the next time you will hear people talking smooth about the fighting to catch the radio station. But unfortunately for us, we did not get it to even ground before we got it to hear people
will talk.
So I think he's speaking from that. But like we said, we hearing things that we've seen. So I want to say also the next thing, we have a new page open. And let's trust the new page. And I think I appreciate the bishop when he said, it's a hard thing. I know what it takes. And I know from the seat the bishop sit in, I know what it takes when he says, we are trying to get people to trust us. We live, the world we live in today, the part of the world we live in, let me put it that way. Joe know what I'm talking about. You really know what I'm talking about. Trust is a serious issue. It's something that you don't want to, when you try to build it, you don't want to lose it over time. So I appreciate that the bishop will be coming from the angle and saying, we're building integrity, we're building trust with people. And we know that at the end of the day, when we shall build this trust, and he know that part of the trust is that saying it and living up to the side of the deal. So he's not going to temper with that. So all of you here watching, I also want to join the bishop to say, let's give him what he's asking us for if we can, and let's see what he's going to do. Thank you, Woody.
Thank you very much, Reverend. And Bishop, quickly, I'll just go to the question that I know you inform us that the executive council has mandated you, and the entire administration, you to go strictly for a full audit. So the Sandra Howard led committee, did the committee ever, begin her work? Did they give any report, or what becomes what becomes of the Sandra Howard led committee? Are they going to continue with like verifying asset, other assets that we have other than financial asset?
Well, Woody, to be honest with you, there was I didn't want to go too much into this.
Okay.
But there was some hold on. In the first place, our treasurer felt that constitutionally it was the wrong thing to have a verification committee. It was not constitutional. So the committee have asked for an office space and some things, but she didn't think, because I have wrote her since September asking her to do that. I didn't get a response to her letter until 5 p.m. Tuesday evening, the day before the Executive Council, just a few days ago, over a period of months. But on the other hand, when we decided that the Finance Committee should work along with the Treasurer for now, that brought a little hurt to the activities of the verification committee up to now, because we had the finance committee. I mean, and that was the advice from the quick meeting, executive council meeting that I called. So that happens. So they did not start anyway. They did not do anything until this committee came out with a report that we took to executive council, upon which this decision was reached. Now the question to be asked is, will they continue to work if there's a full-fledged audit? That's something we need to discuss, and I don't cannot sit there and say and give you an answer. I will meet with my staff and meet with the immediate central office staff and portion of the legal team and see whether that is a possibility, and then we'll push it from there. But they did not start, and so they did not give us any report. We rely on the report as given by the board of trustees, finance and trustees of the Lutheran Church. That's what we took to, because they were ordered to assess all of the accounts, and we managed to get all of our accounts from the bank, which they went through. But basically, with all the accounts being made available, they were only looking into the 2 accounts as mentioned by the guys that they used, they went into. Now, what we're talking about, if this could happen to 2 accounts, probably other accounts are affected. Now the audit will take complete control of that and let us know what happened. That's how far I can reach with that.
Thank you very much, Bishop. Thank you. Big Joe.
Thank you, Willie, and thank you, Bishop. You know, Willie, what the reason why I was laughing, Bishop talk about what happened to the 2 accounts, and you have more than 25 accounts. You can imagine if you go into them. Anybody would be scared. If I were in Bishop's shoes, I wouldn't even continue verification. I will ask for a full audit with what's happening to the 2 account experience. You know, it's just logical to do that. But Bishop, thank you.
But Joe.
Questions.
Joe,
yes,
I know we're coming to enter into round 2, and I know Reverend.
No, we're going to couple first. We take couple, but you can come up with your comments before we go to couple.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, Bishop, it is very interesting that the treasurer is raising constitutional issue as it relates to the verification, and I don't want to go into the point of saying what was the constitutional issue raised, and how did it the verification process violate the Constitution. I think you had competent lawyers on the ground who reviewed the process and thought that they could advise you to take it at the level of the Executive Council, so you guys now come up with a final decision. But my point here is, I think what we need to do is to ensure that we work expeditiously so that we can be able to find some remedy to the situation, because this very treasurer has hired a firm, and the firm is acting on behalf of the treasurer, and the treasurer is prepared to move forward with this identical matter, and without accusing anybody, I think that's a fair game. But notwithstanding, I don't think it had anything to do with just verifying and the asset. It has no constitutional implications. But anyway, the decision has been raised. But we just want to conclude by saying, Bishop, that this matter got to reach its logical conclusion, because it is important. Yeah.
Other than that, the trust and credibility I'm looking for will not get there.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that has been seriously emphasized by Lutherans, and faith, hope, and love. Put it rightly. I mean, it was well said that to gain the trust and to regain the trust of anybody, including members of the LCL, to support any initiative or make financial contribution, it will depend on the accountability of the leadership. So I think Bishop's stance is quite important, and Jerry, that's a good dimension. But I'm convinced, because the fact that the Executive Council has ruled or has endorsed a full audit gives us the impression that the leadership is well on course. Folks, you are in tune to my Lutheran Connections online TV. Today we are having the Bishop of the Lutheran Church in Liberia. What a privilege. So great, to be in conversation with your bishop. So at this time, we will go to Willie. He's seated in the ATL. Willie will bring us comments and questions from our viewers online. And our phone numbers, our phones are open now. It's up to you to call if you have any questions, concerns, comments, or inquiries. You see the phone numbers lined up on your screen. Just call. Willie, it's up to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Bijo. I will go quickly over here. We have our brother Roy Jerome Jala, a regular viewer. Rich K. Kennedy. This is Marlin Molwa Kekula. Brother Jackson Bundo, we want to say welcome. Brother James P. Flomo, we want to say welcome. President Elijah Zina, once a president, he's always a president. Brother George Toto, we want to say welcome. Dr. Toto. Brother Collie Burnett, we want to say welcome. And also we want to welcome our mother of Liga BN, our brother Fit Hope and Love from St. Matthew's Lutheran Church, and also our the Reverend Dr. Eric Molly Allison from Pennsylvania.
It's coming, Willie. Willie, I think Reverend Allison is,
Yeah, he said, I'm watching the podcast from Glenodon, Pennsylvania. Greetings to Bishop Dr. G. Victor Patmo. Thanks a lot for your Episcopal leadership of the LCL thus far. Jesus Christ is above you. Amen. 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 Our sister Victoria Nangwe Johnson, and we want to say welcome. And she said, cheer this church. Our brother Kokwe Dobberson. We want to say on behalf of of our network, we want to say our deepest condolences to brother Dobberson, Kokwe Dobberson. He lost his nephew last week, and also to Reverend Pakla and family. Especially our sister Koto Dakwe. She lost her husband. We want to say, her husband. And here comes our Uncle Menipele K. Smo. Want to say welcome. He's there in St. Louis. We want to say welcome. But next in Flomo, thank you so much for joining us. We want to say welcome. But Amos Molba, Afonso Molba, want to say welcome. He's there from Ganta, Niba County. Welcome. Welcome, Brother Molba. Sister Tiama Kennedy, we want to say welcome. Our senior brother Edwin Y. Weeder from the Twin City of Minneapolis. We want to say welcome. Thank you all so much. Ambassador.
Thank you so much. I think basically we won't want to keep the bishop long. He's tired. I saw Bishop in his green bishopric robe today at the St. Matthew Church. I followed the service online, and yeah, so I know he did a lot of work today. But Bishop, I got just one question from my end, and then maybe the other colleagues, and then we can take calls. I would like to know from you, how are you deciding to continue in the line of reconciliation? You just mentioned the issue of even members are fighting over land. We got other unresolved matters from previous issues. The elections ended, but the wounds are still, persisting. They are not healed totally. And we got bits and pieces in the various departments and auxiliaries of the church. So how are you considering moving on with this? Because reconciliation, we came on that mantra, and we were very focused on that, and we hope that you could be able to share some light on what progress has been made and how you intend to bring the church together, because it's very key. And secondly, just to take all two into one, thank you for opening the process in view of giving scholarships. We had Reverend Dole, who mentioned that you were very magnanimous enough to ensure that scholarships are given, in a very open and transparent manner. But over a period of time, we've been seeing this conflict of interest keep coming back. And we understood that it will be laid bare before you to make the determination. Have you already made a determination on those that have been selected for the scholarship? Did you see the process to be very credible? If not, what has you decided?
All right, Jerry. All right, Jerry. You know the question you're asking are all questions that I listened to when you even discussed with Eric, Reverend Doe. But let me say this to you. Few things, especially on the issue of reconciliation. Reconciliation is an expensive venture, but very important. Let me start with the some of the issues that came out from the election. Some of them are constitutional issues, and I don't want to say all of that, but I've been trying to talk to the groups involved. I even try to take the issue of lifting the suspension as was made. I didn't want to be very unilateral in that, even though people accuse me of being wanting to lift the suspension unilaterally. No, that's not what I intended. Right after the election, if you ask anybody who were part of the suspended group, 1 week after the election, I first drove to 6 Reverend Orita Davis' house.
So, sorry, Bishop, to interrupt. We have a caller. We don't want to lose the caller. We will come back
Go
to
ahead.
you, sorry, Bishop. Yeah, Willie, let's take the caller.
Go ahead, state your name and your question, please.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Bishop. This is Elijah Zena. I'm calling you from Minnesota. Bishop, I just want to say thank you for the work done thus far, and I admonish you to keep doing what you are doing. And like you previously said, all of the credibilities that you need, they are all relying on the outstanding situational cases that you have right now in the LCR investigated them. And the outcome of those investigations will determine how people trust what you say and how they want to support the LCR going forward. But we were talking about properties of the LCR and renovation of buildings that the LCR already got. I remember when I was staying in Liberia, we did an assessment on the hostel in Phoebe. And we are talking about one of the campuses of the Lutheran University to be in Phoebe. And we have a very big building in Phoebe that is just lying in ruin. So I want to know from you, what are your plans towards that building going forward? Or what are you guys doing with that building right now? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Elijah. I don't want to 100% agree with you when you say the building is lying in ruin. But anyway, partly. The first correction I want to make is that the university campus on Phoebe is not looking for building. We are using the structure that the nursing school has been using.
Folks, you are in tune to my Lutheran Connections.
Already in its full capacity. It needs some renovation, but that's not it. We are not using the hostel, Elijah. What we have done, in fact, before I left the scene from Phoebe, we already started renovating our building. We started making it self-contained. I did 5 rooms, self-contained, really tight and seating and everything. And later on, we got small funding from ELCA, and they did the part of the rest of it, but it's not fully completed. But it is there. But the campus of the university at Phoebe will be strictly on the nursing school campus. It has nothing to do with our building. We're not using that building for the university. So it's there. But people are working on it. And the way it is, it's under the jurisdiction of Phoebe Hospital and St. Luke's Parish. They are the custodian of that building. But we're still looking forward to seeing it becoming more vibrant than what it was. If that is the question I heard from you.
So, Bishop, can you go back to my question?
What is your question?
You are on reconciliation. You are moving to
Okay, all right.
Then from there, the scholarship.
So what I did, because of the problem we have is very it's double. But I try to do it one by one yet to cover some of the situation. I met with Orita, Reverend Davis. who was bitterly hurt, and she felt so desperate. And then I met her and we talked to. I've been talking to her. I even met the team, the group of people, because Matthew carried a greater number of the people who were suspended at cause of that, bringing this hard feeling we have. We've been talking. Some of them already served the term, like those who were suspended for 6 months served the term and we lifted it and we will give them clearance. But I took the issue to the executive council. Of course, even though I'm the bishop, there are cases that I cannot make the final decision. Approach the executive council and see whether we go have this issue for the sake of peace. And the executive council vehemently voted no, we can't. What I'm saying to the people is that the time is almost out. That does not make us less important to the church. For the sake of peace, we can let those few months pass by, and we still go to church. Nobody stopped us from going to church. We still going to church. And so, but it's not yet dealt with. I understand I'm saying to you, but we are just appealing to them to see how we can calm down for the sake of this church. Some decision in our past, and it's difficult for me to change. I cannot change on my own. If I had it, opportunity, if I had the power there to just change, I would have changed. But I told the executive council, and the executive council be damned, we cannot change that. They must live to the term of their suspension. I can use veto, yes, but I'm going to cause more hurt because the church, I promised this church to be a policy-driven church, and I don't want to breach any policy. I cannot breach what the executive council say, but we are still talking to people. On the issue of the land that you ask, that's part of it. Right now, what we're doing, we are sitting and having a dialogue. We have been meeting with the Total people, talking about it, and like I said to you, March 3rd, I'll be meeting with the Zoso people. Let's talk and see how we can resolve some of these things more amicably than going to court and using court means. Gentlemen and ladies, right now, we don't even have the first copper to run the bishop's car. These things are expensive venture. Reconciliation.
Folks, you are turned to my Lutheran Connections online TV. There you have it.
Even since Kobo City. So, yes, we're trying. We'll do the best we can, but it's not going to be overnight.
Wonderful, Bishop. Thank you, Bishop.
Bishop, I know sometimes we call it break-in transmission, so it's difficult to recall some of the stuff, but we're still waiting on you. The names were laid bare before you. What happened? Have you endorsed them?
The name of what?
Was the process credible?
Which process? Oh, for the scholarship?
Yeah, Bishop, we got to talk about that though.
Yeah, no, let's talk about it. The scholarship issue, we had a committee that I trusted. And what we were doing was that I expected them to take on people who are members of this church and has a bona fide relationship with this church. I trusted them. Like you say, you were asking whether we have they did the investigation and they submitted to me by the chairman that these people were qualified and they were recommended to ELCA and LWF. Yes, those names that were selected and was presented, I trusted the work of the committee. If there was anything inside that may have been faulty, well, nobody flagged it up to me. And so I endorsed them. Even right now, I say ELCA sent back to me the list to verify and see what are all those whose names are on the list that they sent me. I put that we endorse. I'm looking into them. But when the committee presented to me the listing, and I met with them and questioned them, and they told me they did it their best, the way we sent out the citation. What I said to them is that, and I said to the church, any scholarship we receive, we're going to pull it out. Let this committee do their vetting. I don't want to insist that they take somebody or whatever it is. But if the committee of, I think, 6 or 7 agreed and came to me with this list, I endorsed them. If they sat there and allow somebody to manipulate them or one person to influence them, I don't think that's what, I didn't get that report. No one has said anything to me, and nobody in this church had complained that there was a foul play up to this point. So I don't know what has happened. But as far as I'm concerned, the list that presented to me are endorsed. And nobody raised any concern. Nobody raised any opposition up to now. To me.
Bijo, so I don't forget my thought. Can I follow, please?
Yeah, you can follow up.
Okay, you think I ain't putting your hand, eh?
No, sorry. Thank you very much, Bijo. Thank you very much.
You think I ain't quoting your hand?
No. You're not in court, Bishop. Bishop, you're not in court. Bishop, this scholarship issue, it draws my attention to one thing. You know, I will go back just a little bit during the selection process of the general secretary. Okay, we found out that a committee member he failed to follow due process or to follow the right procedure, and failed to observe conflict of interest. He was on the committee that his brother, I'm talking about Thomas Kidor, his brother applied to that committee, and he scored his brother the highest mark over everyone. Thereby, at the end of the day, his brother became the general secretary of the Lutheran Church in Liberia. And the same Thomas Kidor was on this committee again, this scholarship committee that selected his daughter as one of the recipients of the scholarship to go to the ELCA. Let's say on the ELCA scholarship. And the director of education of Reverend Doe admitted on this program that the committee erred. The committee should have asked him to step out. Okay, and some other people raised concern that this child is not even an active member of the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship. She's not active. So, Bishop, the fact that the committee gave you the committee. I'm going to ask you that question. The committee gave you the list. You were not part of committee room. You endorsed the list, and ELC has sent this back. Looking at all of these flaws, do you still consider submitting this person or Thomas Kidor's daughter as a recipient of this scholarship, considering all of the facts?
We can't draw conclusion. We can't draw conclusion.
I'm not drawing conclusion.
Let's deal with the process. Don't call the name of a particular person. We don't get the entire process.
Listen to me, Willie.
Yeah.
And I want to say two things to you first. One, in the selection of the general secretary, I was not in no way anywhere around. I didn't have any control over the process. I was not in the time. I don't know how they did. That's one. The second thing, in line with what you talk about, this daughter of Kedor, if the committee have admitted to you that they erred, like I said to you, no one has come to me with that. I just heard it from you. No one has said that to me. No one, nowhere, not even the youth accelerator even say to me, oh, we realize that this person, nobody has spoken to me. Even if they said that to you, nobody, up to now where I'm sitting, none of them has come to me. So, what do you expect me to do? I expected a credible group of people to do a piece of work, and they did it. And told me they did it the best of the best of the best. I didn't want to discredit them because I didn't know what. If they had even told me that in the committee room there was this discussion, there was this hard feeling about this person, I would have understood. Nobody said that to me. Nobody.
Right.
So the only thing I can say to you is that, well, it may not be fine. It may not have been the right way it went, but we've already taken a decision. We've already recommended these people, and then I can't pull back. I can't let ELC or whoever else see me like somebody who didn't know what they were doing. So, Bishop,
just a follow-up question. Do you care to like name those who are the recipients?
No. I won't.
Thank you. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you, Wale. I thought that was a good inquiry about the bishop.
Sorry, we have a follow-up. We have a caller, please.
Oh, you have a caller. Okay.
Yes, someone just called back. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Bishop, this is Elijah. I'm calling back. Like in regards to the scholarship, I know you appointed a committee that you trusted, and then they brought the process back. what I want to say is that you are in no way that to bring it or who to bring to you because you are not in the vetting process. But if the church is saying the repeated process that is bringing a character in the picture and consistently bringing a person who is chairing a committee and their family members keeps benefiting from processes they are participating in, that is not a good sign of a leadership, and that does not show transparency within the process. So I hope you can take that into consideration going forward. Another thing I'm going to make a quick follow up on here, Bishop, is as it relates to the properties of the LCO. You know, when I was back home, I did a project with the real estate department where we listed all of the properties of the LCO by whom they bought it, land from, the location, and we started up in Monrovia, from Monrovia all the way down into the southeastern part of Liberia, and I still have that document. And then looking at that document,
send it to me.
In Lower Bone County, we know that in Sarala alone, we had like 100 acres of land that was donated, and then Swago 317 acres. But then I do not see Sarala, not Sarala, but Total on that listing. The only land that I see in Lower Bone County for Sarala for one Geneta, she donated like 648 square feet of land to the church in Lower Bone County area. And then Yannicola, some of your district, we got a 37.5 acres of land that were also like certified out of the U.S. donation. So I'm kind of a little bit concerned about Totota's land, like Reverend Yabazo mentioned, because during that process, we did not see the land deed, or we did not see who they bought the land for in Totota. So I don't know whether you have a copy of this document that I have, or you have another document that kind of captures all of the data that we have here on the properties of the LCO.
Well, one good thing you can do, Elijah, is to furnish me with that copy. We're still trying to get a document for this land, for this church. I know we have a deed for Total land. Total land was not bought. It was a grant from the government of Liberia to the Lutheran Church for mission purpose. And that land was deeded. It was surveyed. So we have that deed. Now, next month when we go to the resurvey, we will present that deed, and all those who have deed for land surrounding us, I say they land for them, they will bring their deed. We will first survey based on the oldest deed, and if ours is the oldest, we will survey us and then demarcate us, and then they start to demarcate those who say they got land and see what their land fall within our land. But we have a deed that we have already taken a copy to the land commissioner. I don't know, but I need that document. That would be very good to help me. If you won't mind to forward it to me, I'll be happy.
I'm gonna send you this document because I did this document along with Sis Chris when she was then the real estate director of the LCO, and we did this document kind of trying to account of all of the properties of the LCO, and we started from single Monrovia, and then we went all the way out of the parishes within Monrovia, the land that they own, who they bought it for, the year they bought it for, the number of acres, the amount of money they paid for it. We captured all of those information all the way to the southeastern district, all of the lands we have down there into Jacksonville, Maryland, River G, everything. I have that document, and I will send it to you, Bishop.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Willie. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you, Elijah, for the call. And I think that document will be helpful to Bishop in his quest. It will provide some baseline information to support their efforts. Team, I think it was a good round of questioning regarding the scholarship. This is critical to the church education.
But Josiah?
Yeah, Bishop.
I saw the comment. And somebody was asking that the national youth president applied and was denied. Why? Mm-hmm. Somebody asked that question.
Yeah.
When we receive, I'm not too sure exactly what it was, but I'm sure I have the information about this. When we receive scholarship from ELCA, the first thing, I think he applied to LWF scholarship. LWF gave us 7 scholarship slots. 5 for theology and 2 for diaconia. And the next thing that happened is that the next question they ask is that whatever the person is going to do, how would that help the church? I'm sure the application for the president what he wanted to do did not fall within the purview of what we were awarded. Maybe that was the reason. So we even encouraged him. I think I talked to him to try the next time. Maybe if we got anything that was in his interest, we would allow him to apply for it. But he was not denied because he was not qualified. But because I'm sure what he was applying for was not part of the 2 spaces for Draconian, somebody had already applied. They only had 2 spaces, either a nurse or a doctor or something else. 5 of them were for theology. I think one of them we awarded to Reverend Zizzi to do a PhD, and few other persons went to GSC if they are accepted. We have not gotten a feedback from LWF for whether they are accepted, and so. But that was one of the reasons why I'm sure the national president did not get on. But Jerome Jara been here all the year. Why he didn't come to my office and ask me to come put it on post here? Come to me,
Bishop. You are already here. You said the people should fire you from anywhere and anyhow. So they're doing that.
No, but the thing is that these are people who I meet every day. We don't have to wait for Lutheran connection. These are some things you come, let's sit down and talk about, and you can have one. They can even be my supporter and find out. And so we have it been almost 2-3 months. I was saying we did this, and they would have come to me to find out. Even some things I don't know, they could even inform me. I could find out why things are happening the way they're happening.
Right.
Yeah, but Bishop, to be honest, I think you need to follow up on that scholarship issue. I know you're not going to cancel the list, but you can follow up on that scholarship issue and dig deep into
it. Really have happened with
it wrong.
It gives me now what happened here. It gives me this tend to be more technical on results that come to me since I know this is what's happening. But I'm not going to turn that because I've already endorsed people to ELCA to go back to ELCA. I don't want to be that. I don't want to do that one stupid person before them.
Right.
No.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That makes sense, Bishop. And we want to thank you for the clarification. And also the point that you made, finally, that you will look at those kinds of things painstakingly when they come to you, so that the right decision is made. Because when one name keeps coming to you over and over, that should actually ring a bell. It should raise a concern.
Yeah. Right, there are other competent people in the church.
This is my Lutheran Connections online TV. Thank you for tuning in, couple. We will go to you for a question, and after that, we will come to Reverend Yapazua. Reverend Yapazua is going to be the last question, and then we will be taking our final comments after Reverend Yapazua. Sis couple, it's up to you.
Yeah, Big Joe. Just a follow-up on the ambassador concerning reconciliation. Bishop, you always talk about the issue of constitution. You say what is going on is the issue of break of constitution, and that of which I agree with you. LTI, the women constitution was violated, and it brought a serious issue. And the women are dissatisfied. Certain people are dissatisfied. You went to the executive council with the intent of lifting the suspension. But people said no because it was a decision, right? And those people that said no, these are people who cleverly sat down and came out with the letter and smartly extended our suspension up to April. Well, they intend that by March.
Couple, let us not draw conclusion.
No,
are you one of those? Are you one of those victims?
Yes.
Yeah, a couple was suspended. Yes.
Yes. So
and she was at LTI.
April now, by March, we should not take part in the election. And there is a serious issue that is breaking the women department, and we are not looking at it. There's a serious issue now. We have a communication that the women will be going for election. Women will be going for election, and at LTI, there were decisions, there were resolutions that we came out with. And all of these things, they are constitutional matter that should have been settled before going to our next convention. And up to present, it has not been settled. And we're going for the same election again. So this is a very serious issue that you need to look at because it will cause problems. On a serious note, Bishop, it will definitely cause problems. So you need to take your time. You always say that reconciliation is expensive. Yes, it's expensive, but you need to take your time. Call the women and know what is happening. Call the women, you know what is happening. We only have February, March is our women convention. And you will not get one group of people hurt, the other people be laughing and be passing around. And from what I heard, the same person, Bishop took suspension on us, a whole. Then Bishop told the 2 candidates that they should not run. And now one of them, they gave them the credence to run. So you need to look at that because that is a serious issue that you need to look at. I just my follow up on the issue of reconciliation because it's breaking the church down. That's one. So I don't know whether you were addressing one. Yeah.
Couple. Let me say this to you.
Yeah, Bishop.
From the letter I saw that brought about suspension and you people, the one written by the bishop that was endorsed by the executive council and the convention. In that letter, I just saw a copy in my mail. I was trying to pick it. It's just it did not suspend everybody, and that's the problem I have. But then I don't have control over. In the letter, his brother said that how you call her, Nyama was qualified to contest. It was only Annie they suspended from contesting. I don't know why. All of these things are considered and thought we could sit down and talk about it. Again, couple, if you are in my shoe as the bishop of this church that is not making his own decision absolutely on his own, but the executive council, and that's why I took it back to the executive council. I met you people. I even talked to the women from St. Matthew. I talked to the council chairperson, and I told them to give me a chance. Let me negotiate this with the executive council. You may have heard it. At the executive council, it almost caused a rift even in the executive council. Finally, it was voted upon. They vote to let the suspension remain. Won. We even voted on this. I don't know. I can meet with you people. What you have as your constitutional issue in your constitution, you with me, you can call for a constitutional revision if you want to. It is not LCL constitution that brought your conflict. It is your own constitution. Because right now, we have a constitutional committee, revision committee, but that is only for LCL. It's not for the women constitution. It's not for the men constitution, not the you. So if you have a problem in your constitution, I think it's going to cause you most chaos, and you want to sit down and look at it, we can sit down and look at it. But I don't have the power to revise your constitution as it is. If you did disappoint, you called it. What you would have done, would I call maybe one quick, maybe executive meeting or a pre-convention or something to discuss about this thing, and you would have discussed it. I don't feel happy that people are suspended. If I was, I wouldn't be making an effort. But also, despite the fact that I'm the bishop, I have limits. There are some things I can do. There are something I cannot do right off on my own. Either I decide to do it and get penalized or whatever it is. That's one of it. You know, I have tried every way to see how we will resolve the issue. I have spoken to people, even you, I even call you to my office. We sat down and talk. I tried every way I could. I understand the voice. I know that. But again, if the executive council had just agreed to me, this would be behind us.
Thank you, Bishop. There you have it. We can talk about this further, and my Lutheran Connections Online TV is here. We look forward to those involved if they can have the opportunity to come here and talk about the issue, because reconciliation is also possible when people have the opportunity to speak about their hurts and to speak about what is possible to take care of. So it's a great opportunity for the women. We look forward to hosting you. We will get in touch with all those involved to see how we can invite you on the show to talk about it. That's why we are here. Now we will go to Reverend Yakwazua. Reverend Yakwazua will be doing the last questions, and Bishop is on the show today. At the end, Bishop is going to be the one to give the benediction. So, Reverend Yakwazua, it's all yours.
Quickly, Joe, thank you again for the opportunity. I just wanted the Bishop to also know that this is something with the fights that Elijah Zena has in his hands. We will also investigate, like Dr. Toto said, the government of Liberia forcibly took the land from the Toto family and gave it to the LCA. We'll verify to see whether that is true or not. So, Bishop, you can think about that. Now, I got a few things and a question to ask. No trouble. One of those things is the Bishop talked about having to do a survey on the land in Totota and going to make sure the land commission goes to Totota. One thing I always tell, and then in some of the part of the conversation with the Bishop said, but they're going to make sure that the land issue be resolved adequately, because he understands that some of the same people involved with the land issue are also a member of the church. And this is my piece towards that. I understand it's going to be difficult to get land out of some of the hands of the people that got it. I remember a very older person living on the old road told me that when the Lutheran church moved to the old road, they used to own the land from the Maningo graveyard all the way to where we have the Lutheran church today. How we lost those land, nobody know. But at least we've managed to secure where we have St. Andrew, and today is for the Lutheran church. Now, I'm saying this to say, if the Lutheran church do a survey of the land in Totota, we need to do our best to secure the one that is left. Even if we can take the ones that have been taken away from us, we need to do our best to preserve the last ones that we have. I'm told since the late Amos College did a survey to that land in Totota, we haven't been able to do any survey there. And as people continue to encroach on it, the remaining ones we have there, it will cause us to build a wire fence around it. It will cause us to invest in building an actual fence. We need to do something that will stop people from encroaching on it. The next thing I wanted to say to the bishop, just quickly, I know the bishop was talking about how the scholarship was being offered. And the bishop talked about, we offer one of the scholarship to, I think, Reverend Zize. Which one of the Reverends? Who Zize is that?
What is it?
Then it brings me to the question, Bishop. Was there a process that was done? That
Yes. He went through the same process, and his name came up. And so when I told him, not that just took it, then you can go, but he applied. He applied to go and do a PhD in theology, and he was accepted. I was not there.
Okay.
So it's not that we just call him and took and go to him. They were all of them that applied.
Bishop, I'm glad you say you were not there, because when you said it the first time, when you said, well, I think one was given to Reverend Zize, in my mind, then I started to ask myself whether he was being rewarded on the basis of his decision in the election.
No. Well, then not talk about that. Sorry, my current LEC just took the power, so that's why I say I'm black.
But why are you laughing at that for? Is that couple laughing at me, or who laughing?
Laughing.
So you're trying to say
the bishop wants, you know?
Yeah.
No, I will not appease him, Reverend Jesse, for no. Reverend Jesse applied, the other persons who applied, and his application was accepted, and they brought a name to me. In fact, for theologian, we have 5 slots. So, although in fact, few guys were accepted to even go to GST to make out the number 5.
Sorry, Reverend. Sorry, we got just one last caller here, please. Can we just take him?
You see, my face is blind now, and my calling gone.
Yeah, Bishop will soon go away. I mean,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, quick. Bishop will soon be leaving.
Yes, thank you so much. With it also to all those guys put out the bishop. I do want to give a quick update on the issue to that. I'm for the total family. But let me make the report disclaimer. I speak on behalf of the family to now the issue. If you see the total family, we are all for the Lutheran Church. I'm not saying any of the original total in the different church. We all the Lutheran Church because the family are benefited a lot from the Lutheran Church to education. The church where you told I educated all of our family. But the problem with the issue, the way which things have been going on in recent, not been very healthy. I must say, in our family, they do have serious argument when it comes to the lay encouragement to that with the Lutheran Church, and also with the leadership of LCF for past leadership. Not been going on well. I think this is a very tradition. So I would love for Bishop to go to Tututa and try to meet with the old people. Let us say they resolve the issue. Because it creates a serious problem about the citizens in the area, the LCF, and also the family. That's what I don't want to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Toto.
Thank you,
Dr. Toto.
Thank you, Dr. Toto. Reverend Yakwazwa, you were the one asking questions before the call. Are you okay now? Have you exhausted your questions?
Well, Joe, again, thank you. I can never be okay once the bishop here, but I want the bishop to go because the background, the bishop has gotten dark. But again, we look forward to the bishop again another time. And I say Thank you for doing what you do. I know there's a lot on your plate to do. There's a lot of trouble, a lot of noise. I know, even for example, the noise with the women is not small noise. So the fact that you even got out of that headache and going with it, you see, just not couple forgot that she was one of the co-hosts here, and then she was ready to take it off. So thank you for all you do. Joe, thank you. It's back to you.
Okay, Reverend, thank you so much. It's good having you today, folks. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Always, we appreciate you, all of our followers there across the globe. Jackson, we have not forgotten you there in Nigeria. We know the last time you were on and you made some comments. Willie, we need to try to reach out to Jackson and our in Nigeria and our colleague in Lusaka,
Zambia. Yes.
Yeah, for relaying our show. The show is growing and will continue to get wider coverage across Africa and other places here in the West. We highly appreciate it. We recognize all of you, all of your efforts. I want to say thanks to our viewers, our followers. Thank you so much for everything. It's been a wonderful conversation. And the bishop is always available, like we said. This is a strange phenomenon in the Lutheran Church where the leader is always available to provide update of the activities of the leadership, but we're going to get used to it, and that's why we are here. So, Willie, Jerry, Kopo, and Reverend, I think that should be it. We should go to Bishop for the benediction. Bishop is up to you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Bishop.
So we'll receive the benediction. The Lord bless us and keep us. The Lord make his face shine on us and be gracious to us. Our loving God lift his countenance upon us and give us peace. In the name of God the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. May we go in peace and serve the Lord.
Amen. So, Bishop, next Sunday.
All right.